How do you want to do this, Jacob? We gotta run that break, don't we? Okay. Well, just throw the countdown up. Let's go. What was the song?
So I didn't get to a song, and I meant to get to a song, but I was listening to this really interesting podcast that I've started listening to every day. It's called T-Boys, the best one yet. And I know it's super nerdy, but they give 3 pop business stories every day. All my friends who went to business school say it's like the go-to water cooler talk gatherer. But I actually learned some interesting things. One, did you know Pizza Hut's Book It program is still going on?
Yeah.
I did not know that. They have an app now. They just launched an app last week.
I didn't
so
know
now
they had
parents
launched
through
an
the
app.
summer, they're trying to encourage kids to keep reading during the summer by free pizza.
Okay.
The gamification
Nice.
of reading.
Good.
We will save literacy
No, we
one
won't.
personal pan
No,
pizza at
we
a time.
won't.
The other is that Spirit Halloween has canceled their annual preview party of all their costumes, which is symbolic of the supply chain issues that are a result of tariffs, trade war, all of that. And so the concern
time
is
out.
how that's
Hold,
going to
wait.
affect
Wait.
holidays.
Hold on.
They have a preview party.
Did you know
Yes.
that?
No, I did not, but I
Nobody
did not.
knew that.
That's why I listened to this little podcast.
I want to go to the Spirit Halloween costume.
Well, you can't
preview
because it
party.
was canceled.
Are we not getting
But I
Halloween
didn't
this
even
year?
think about this. So Halloween costumes, Christmas decorations. Do you know where all Christmas lights are made?
No.
China.
Get out of
Yes.
here.
So stores are trying to figure out other places to get these things.
And we
I guess Target
needed
hasn't
more
Target
Christmas
hasn't ordered their
lights.
tinsel yet for the year.
Oh my gosh.
It's like
not
little
the
things like
tinsel.
that. First, they came for my Halloween costumes. Then they came for my Christmas decorations. If they take my Valentine's Day candy, it's over.
There is now, that side of the spectrum always claims there's a war on Christmas. Well, now
There's an actual war on
that you
Christmas.
guys started. You started it.
Anyway, isn't that interesting?
The
That's
war
why
on
I got
Christmas? Yes.
all of those. That there was a Spirit Halloween party, a preview party. What's up, everybody? It is Thursday, June 5th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. Coming up on today's show, it is finally NBA Finals Day. Game 1 between the Thunder and the Pacers tonight in OKC. Final thoughts going into the series. We'll have them all. Also had a Stanley Cup Finals start yesterday night in overtime. An overtime win for the Oilers. A college softball World Series game got super weird. We'll get into all of that. Teresa Walker will join us about 20 minutes in. It is a draft day, and we are drafting camp songs or sleepover songs or just those random rhymes that you did with your friends when you were kids. We'll get into all of those. Then we'll end with a little Theater Thursday. The Wicked for Good trailer dropped last night. I watched a really, really great movie that I think should have won Best Picture this year over the weekend. We'll get into some movie news. We'll get into Finals Day. It's Thursday. You know what we say. Actually, don't. I didn't think of any this morning. Is your child a natural-born entertainer? Now is their chance to join the most talented youth dance crew in the Mid-South, the Blue Bunch. The Blue Bunch entertains Grizz Nation with their energetic dance routines and even have the opportunity to collaborate on performances with leading artists in the entertainment industry. Kids ages 7 to 17 are invited to show off their skills and personality for their chance to join the next generation of NBA entertainers. Open auditions are Saturday, June 28th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
With a knock-away. Good defense. Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Javon Evans might be the John Morant of the WWE. You asked me how do I say that? It's because Javon Evans is electrifying. He is viral. He does things you've never seen before. The most athletic guy you've never ever seen in the wrestling world. He reminds me of John in a wrestling ring. So Javon Evans, I'm proclaiming you on this day the John Morant of the WWE.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling, having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? It is Thursday. We are one day closer to Friday. We are back in the thick of sports excellence. NBA Finals begin tonight. Last night was a great sports night. CJ, did you watch any of it, or did you watch the back of your eyelids?
I was asleep.
Oh, you were asleep. Let me fill you in. We got overtime hockey in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and the Oilers took down the Panthers to take a 1-0 lead, which is a lot better than last year when they went down 3-0 to start the series as Canada begins yet another quest to win its first Stanley Cup since the year 1993. It was excellent. We talk about playoff hockey being top tier sports viewing experience, overtime hockey, playoff hockey being top tier, but Stanley Cup Finals playoff hockey in Game 1,
Weren't they down big?
That's what we do it for.
Weren't they down big
before
before
like
the
2-0?
Before the overtime?
They weren't down big. Were
is
they?
2-0 not big in
I guess
hockey?
it's big against the Panthers because prior to last night, the Panthers had been, I think it was 31-0 in the playoffs under their current head coach when holding a lead after the first and the second period. Maybe first or second period. Anyway, having a lead basically ensured that the Panthers were going to win that game until last night. Now it's 31-1 thanks to the Oilers. I think they had a little magic on their side. Do you know what the Oilers did, CJ? The Oilers went out and took ice, little chunks of ice from the home rinks of their players. So like where their players grew up playing hockey, they went and collected that ice, and then they came and they mixed it in with the ice of their home rink in Edmonton, and then they resurfaced their ice with that ice. I like this gimmick a lot. I thought it was cute. It popped up. I was like, ooh, this is why I love hockey. And by I love hockey, I mean I stay vaguely tapped into hockey for a couple weeks a year.
Grizzlies should do that. Not with the ice, but they should grab random hardwood from players like middle schools.
Why don't we do this?
Well, you have to go to the middle school. You have to dig up the chunk of the wood. You have to find a way to incorporate it in there. Then you have to pay the middle school to redo their gym, which could count as like community service or something like that.
I think you can write it off on your community service form.
The different wood, I'm assuming, would have different densities.
Yeah, but maybe you put it as baseline, behind baseline, so you're not on that wood. Because if you're on that wood, then yes, I think you could get into the dangers, and there's so many like physics related things that goes into the courts that we see professional athletes play on, and the safety reasons for that.
Yeah.
And like if you have even like a slightly loose board, everyone thinks that the world is going to end, and it could, to be fair. But I would love if they went to the colleges of the players.
I don't like colleges.
Why?
Because the colleges are professional, right? You got to go to
I guess in my head, I went straight to like if you went to Murray State and got a piece of the Murray State
that's
court
still
and brought
like
it.
professional. No, go to where get the
Okay,
wood
fine.
from,
Go to the
from
community
South Carolina.
center.
Go to the community center
Yeah.
where it all started, right? Like go to there,
Okay,
and get
fine.
that wood.
I'm sold.
Yeah, let's do that. We are pro wood on this show. Pro getting the wood, not standing on the wood on the court, not on the court, but on the baseline. We're pro wood on the baseline.
Shout out Leon Draisaitl for that overtime goal.
Shout out.
Yeah, you know. So that
stuff.
happened. Then the Women's College World Series, the
I saw the
championship
highlights of
series.
this.
Did you see what happened?
I saw.
This is
How do you do that? You can't do
crazy.
that. If
Texas
you're
Tech-
walking somebody pitted, just stand up and stand over here.
Texas Tech was up 1-0 in the 6th, and Texas had 2 on, 2 outs. And Texas Tech's $1 million pitcher, who we talked about earlier this week, Nyjah Kennedy, was trying to intentionally walk the Texas batter. And that's what happened. That's Reese Atwood. She took a swing at the 4th pitch, made contact. It's a 2-run single that gave Texas the lead. And ultimately, the game, Atwood had been 0 for 10 in the Women's College World Series so far, but she's a star. Like, she is one of the best hitters in college softball. She bats .398. She had 21 home runs this year. And so the Texas Tech coach looked at it and was afraid that perhaps the do factor would take its part. And so they decided to intentionally walk her, and Kennedy was a part of that. She just throws it down the middle, and Atwood takes a hack at it, and now Texas has won the game and is 1 win away from winning a College World Series.
Also, well, it's a 3-game series, so we'll see who stays off if Texas Tech can stave off.
Right.
Also, that was the $1 million pitcher.
Yes.
Why in the hell am I paying you $1 million if
Right.
we can't
I
go
don't
get
know.
that batter? If like, line
that
up
the point?
And let's strike this chick out. Let's go. Throw it in there. I am paying you $1 million. We are walking nobody intentionally. We are going and get after it. What's the point of that?
And like, she had a career high 14 strikeouts in the game before.
Come on,
The game that they won. She said she had not intentionally walked a batter in this season. She had in her career, so she played her last seasons at Stanford. So there was a time where she had intentionally walked a batter. But like, this is the College World Series. This is it. This is the big shebang.
And and that's a phenomenal pitcher.
And you're being paid $1 million.
And rightfully so. Probably should be paid more. I saw what she did against Oklahoma.
Crazy.
No, you don't intentionally walk a batter with that pitcher on the mound. Get out of here, coach.
I was going to say big balls for Atwood.
Big ovaries?
Yeah.
Big vulva?
Big
Like, what are
oh, no. That's
Not
the
a big
wrong thing to
vulva?
say. Well, I said something else. But anyway, I appreciate like a big ball moment from Atwood to swing at that. Because at that point, like, you're 0 for 10 and you risk going for it when it's clear that she's trying to intentionally walk you. And then the discourse becomes like, oh, she's so in her head. Like, she wanted to have the moment. She was so desperate for the moment. But instead, she made it the moment. And they won. And I will be tuned in
tonight
lightly, because at the same time I have Thunder Pacers. We have finally made it to game 1 of the NBA Finals after they fed us basketball every other night for weeks and weeks and weeks. They made us wait from Saturday to Thursday, but we will finally have the opportunity to see the 2 teams that have been the best teams in the NBA since the calendar year turned to 2025. Of course, the 68-win Thunder. And the Thunder at this point, through the playoffs, have now compiled a record of 80-18 this season. They are one of just 15 teams in history to win 80 games. Now, Boston did it last year. So carrying on the tradition of that, obviously those Warriors teams did it. You had one of the Heat teams do it. Some Lakers teams do it in recent memory. But this Thunder team has just been sheer domination. And I guess the anticipation leading into this series is simply put in the hands of, can the Pacers make it interesting? And are you sitting in a place today, CJ?
No.
Where you're at all? Is there anything that you just slightly in the back of your head, you're like, well, if they do this.
No.
I've convinced myself, well, if they make, like, go gangbusters from corner threes.
They're not going to get to do that.
That's the one thing that OKC gives up more than others. And it's not like the Timberwolves didn't take advantage of it. Certainly the Grizzlies didn't take advantage of it.
Okay, listen, It's great.
The Nuggets couldn't either.
The Pacers got here. But the Pacers got here on some real fluky type stuff. Like this feels team.
Oh no,
team
we are not doing that. We are not calling it fluky type stuff. I am all down to go solidification of the Thunder's dominance, but I will not call the Indiana Pacers fluky. Not one bit. Not one bit.
So you didn't see the ball hit the back of the rim, bounce up, high five Jesus himself in the heavens, and then come back down into the basket.
Jesus isn't a fluke?
Come on, man. Come on. Like
Jesus' touch on the ball isn't a fluke?
There are moments
they still
in this
went and won that game in overtime.
There are moments in this
There
are moments in this postseason where competent basketball, if it was being played at all against the Indiana Pacers, would lend itself to the Pacers losing games. They won games off sheer incompetence of their opponents.
I think you're giving way too much into one game that was lost off sheer incompetence because we sat here the next morning. And I think that game one will be forever remembered as just forever remembered, period. Like when we think of postseason games, you'll be like, God bless. Remember when the New York Knicks somehow gave up 14 points in 3 minutes, 9 points in a minute. Tyrese Halliburton thought that he had the game winner, but actually it was just the game tire. And then he hit the choke job in front of Reggie. And then ultimately the Pacers still win in overtime. Like, we'll remember that. But the Pacers are a really good team.
Game one of the Cleveland Cavaliers, they didn't leave everybody open and allow the Pacers to shoot ungodly from three. Game two against the Cleveland Cavaliers, if they just go and get the rebound, another one of those games where they're up 8, 9 points under a minute. You're not supposed to lose those games if you're competent. If the dude from the Bucks just catches the ball when it's thrown to him in the first round. Now, I'm not saying that they don't get out of that first round series against the Bucks, but I am saying if he catches the ball in the first round, instead of letting it go between his legs and roll out of bounds, giving the Pacers the ball in possession with a last-second shot to win the game. If all of those things aren't happening, and they don't happen when you are competent, and the Thunder are, if nothing else, competent, right? We could be talking about this Pacers team in a different way. The Thunder aren't going to beat themselves. The Pacers will have to go out there and beat the Thunder, and I don't think that they're capable of doing so. The Knicks beat themselves. So did the Cavaliers. They beat themselves.
Everybody beats themselves a little bit in the postseason.
No, everybody doesn't beat themselves. I'm sorry. Name the game the Thunder beat themselves in. Right, because they haven't. They game one versus Denver. Maybe. Okay.
Why are you such a Pacers hater? I feel like the rest of the country, the Pacers are America's team to some degree, which I don't necessarily agree with. I like greatness. I appreciate this Thunder team.
We like the underdog.
And the Pacers are clearly a heavy underdog. But I don't understand how you can watch the Pacers and come to the conclusion that there was a flukiness to this run. Like from their relentless, fast-paced offense, they have two genuine. If there is one thing where I find like the greatest potential deficiency in this Pacers team, and I'll go back to that game one against the New York Knicks, and actual words that left my mouth when the Knicks were up was, the problem with the Pacers is they don't have that dude. Like they don't have that guy who takes over the game. And then Nesmith goes and makes a ridiculous amount of threes, and Tyrese Halliburton has his moment, and Obi Toppin comes up with moments in overtime, and Pascal Siakam. Like they do have two. It's hard for me to say stars, but at this point in time, I have to say stars in Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam, and then they have all the parts around them. But then on the flip side of that, the Thunder do have that dude. Like they have an MVP. They have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is in this position now to reach the most rarefied of air. And our chat question of the day is who will hoist the Bill Russell Trophy, because it's hoisting season. We've had staving season. We've had, what's the other seasons? Why can't I think of our other cliches? We've had, it's not a series until the home team loses season. We've had
elimination game season.
But that's staving season.
Okay.
Or punching a ticket season.
It's staving on one side. It's elimination game on the other side.
Now it's true hoisting season.
I love to hoist.
It's a hoist. I know we've had casual trophy lifts, but a true hoist when you win the Larry O'Brien and the Bill Russell for Finals MVP, and the options being SGA, Siakam, Halliburton, or Jalen Williams in our chat, and 60% of the vote going to SGA. Like that is the assumed outcome here, where you're looking at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who could go from winning the scoring title to winning regular season MVP to winning Finals MVP. And if he does that, he will be just the fourth player in history to accomplish all of those accolades in a single season. Do you know who they are?
Give it to me again.
Scoring.
MVP
And Finals MVP.
Finals MVP. MJ, Kobe, MJ, Kobe.
It's not Kobe.
It's not Kobe. So MJ absolutely did it. Bill Russell, LeBron James, Steph Curry.
It is MJ, Shaq.
Oh, Shaq.
And Kareem.
I should have said Shaq.
And it should have been Steph, but they gave the Finals MVP to Andre Iguodala.
Because he held LeBron James to 30-something points in the series. Okay. All right.
But anyway.
Listen, I think that people want to talk up this Pacers team. And that's fine. The Thunder are significantly better.
Yes.
And
I get stuck in the between of I want to talk up this Pacers team, but like let it be clear, I think the Thunder win in 5.
Thunder are significantly better. So
yes.
Whatever you want to say about the Pacers and how good they are, fine, you got it. They aren't playing the Bucks. They aren't playing the Cavs. They aren't playing the Knicks. They're playing this Oklahoma City Thunder team who's been running through everybody, including the teams in the Western Conference. And everybody's told me for years how much better the Western Conference is than the Eastern Conference. And the Thunder are demolishing those teams. So for all the reasons you said, I'm not sure what they do when they can't run up and down the court, and you're not going to be able to run like that against this Thunder team. They get back defensively. Chet is one of the better running bigs in the NBA. He's going to be back there on those breaks. So instead of it being layup after layup after layup for Pascal Siakam on breaks, there'll be somebody back there to contest. And the Thunder like to run also. So we'll see. We'll see.
Game 1 tonight. Teresa Walker is going to join us after a quick break. We'll catch up with her about her thoughts going into this NBA Finals. We also got NBA All-Star Game news because nothing gets me excited like talking about the NBA All-Star Game in June. But they have a new format. It's going to be USA versus the world. We'll talk to Teresa about that and more when we come back.
What should the Grizzlies take away from this Western Conference Finals matchup?
The Grizzlies need more quality depth. Not just depth, quality depth.
Well, what the Memphis Grizzlies can learn and take away from the Western Conference Finals is you can't talk about it, you got to be about it.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
The First Ladies of FedEx Forum, the Grizz Girls, are known across the NBA for setting the standard for professional dance and entertainment. And they are looking for dancers to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. With the chance to gain professional dance experience and connect with the Memphis community, auditioning for the Grizz Girls is an opportunity you do not want to miss. Come show up at Open Call Auditions Saturday, July 26th at the Memphis Sports and Events Center. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit Shinedown.com.
CP the franchise. Do we hate the Pacers? Of course. I hate Halliburton. I hate Reggie. I hate the Pacers. I hope.
Yeah, where does Halliburton rank? Where's he rank?
Yeah, is there potential for him to be more hated than Reggie by the end of this series?
If you start flipping it all off, for sure.
Yes. Well, first of all, they're built the same. They damn near look the same. You know what I mean? He's like reincarnated Reggie Miller.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
How about Mr. Irrelevant coming from the Memphis Tigers? Yeah, how about that? New England Patriots
Second
took
time.
Memphis defensive back Kobe Minor with the 257th overall pick.
If you're the player getting drafted at that spot, it's almost better to go undrafted and pick a place as an undrafted free agent to sign with where you have a better chance
But
of
you get a
sticking.
lot of stuff. You get a parade. I think
do?
you go to Disneyland, I believe.
Mr. Irrelevant goes to Disney?
I think so.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back. Every Thursday we catch up with one of our favorites, Teresa Walker. She joins us now. Teresa, how are you on this fine Thursday morning in June?
I'm good, considering that summer temps have arrived, and just trying to dry out a little bit.
We are drafting like camp songs or kid rhyme songs, sleepover songs, and I looked up what the first day of summer is because it feels like summer is here. Right? Like it feels like all of a sudden we have leapt into summer temperatures, but it's not until June 20th. So we still got a long ways to go. I always the unofficial start of summer is Memorial Day weekend, and I will always stand on that, and it will always be summer to me.
Yes, it may be the atmospheric, meteorological weather start of summer on June 20th, but yes, we all know that it's Memorial Day. Or in the first arrival of a 90-degree day, because there was one year, the last Saturday in April, they ran the marathon here in Nashville, and it got to 95. They had to shorten that race because it's like runners are crazy. They'll just keep going, and it's like, it's 95. Stop it. And I think we got to 90 Tuesday here, so that was our first true 90-degree day since the start of May, and it's like, of course, Tuesday? Yeah. The Titans, of course, were on the field. So it's like, oh, yeah, I'm not ready for this. This is training camp heat. So, come back in August or late July at least. I'm not ready for this yet.
I know, me neither. But luckily, we get the NBA Finals before we have to get into that. Stanley Cup Finals, too. Everything is back, and it is one of the most fun times of the year. When it comes to this Thunder-Pacers matchup, Teresa, much has been made leading up to this game. The overwhelmingly obnoxious conversation of, the TV executives must hate having to see the Thunder and the Pacers. But in reality, you get two excellent teams who are about to face off for a chance to win, one of them, their first ever title in the NBA. So what excites you the most about this upcoming series between the Thunder and the Pacers?
Well, good basketball. I mean, they're both 12-4 in this postseason. And I'm going with OKC. I mean, they're just young enough to not know better. And know that they're, and don't tell me the odds. And they're the betting favorite, but it's like, it's funny that people are like, well, I don't know if I want to buy into them. And it's like, so you're going to go for the Pacers, who needed some serious, ridiculous comebacks to be in this position. And yeah, I see that, CJ. It's like, yeah, I'm going with OKC because they've done this all season long. They led the league in the most double-digit wins. They dominated the Eastern Conference. This is not a fluke that they are in this position. So put me down for the Thunder. And guys, I won't be surprised if they wrap it up in 5, but I don't think it goes more than 6 at the most.
Put me down for the Thunder, too. That is not my argument.
Teresa, you're right. You're 1,000% right. The Thunder, Jessica, didn't get here by fluke.
And neither did the Pacers. If you have multiple crazy comebacks, maybe it's just you. Maybe you're built to withstand going down large amounts in the playoffs. Maybe you are built to be able to come back in situations where you face adversity. This Pacers team, I sat here going into the playoffs, and I like to go back and run the tape somewhere where I said, you know what? Yeah, it'd be crazy if the Pacers beat the Cavs. But this Pacers team has been playing really, really good basketball. I follow this woman, Caitlin Cooper, on Twitter. She knows all things Pacers. She was just on the Zach Lowe podcast yesterday, and I love to see her star rise because she's truly one of the smartest people talking about the game. And in following her, I have been acutely aware of some of the growth that the Pacers have seen since January 1st. And since they started, I think they started the year 10 and 15. So it's not like they came out of the opening of the season particularly hot, but they really started to find their stride. Defensively, they have made actual improvements because before this postseason run, I think everyone would look at the Pacers and say, oh, they're all offense, all breaks, no gas. And they have absolutely no defense. But they've made improvements on that side of the ball. And all of those things can be true. And I still think the Thunder will dominate this series. This is a case of I'm not trying to take away from the Thunder. I'm not trying to over-promise for what the Pacers can do in this matchup. But I think it's ridiculous that we are taking away from the success that this Pacers team has had and trying to delegitimize it in any way.
Nobody's trying to delegitimize
you are.
it.
You called them a fluke.
Because they are fluky.
Oh
they got
God.
here. I want to acknowledge the fact they got here. And however you get here is how you get here. They got here on some pretty incompetent basketball played by their opponents. Okay? Right? Like, I don't know how and why we can't acknowledge that. I don't know why we can't acknowledge that the Knicks, the Bucks, and the Cavs had moments of sheer incompetence, and that helped lead the Pacers to this moment. And all I'm saying is the Thunder aren't going to give them that. We're going to have two different conversations. Everybody here is saying Thunder probably in 5, right? Just move that over there. What we are going to talk about now is only the Pacers playoff run and how miraculous it was, how fun it was, and how, like, yo, these games are happening, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, the Pacers are done, and they find ways to win. They get the win, but they get the win because the other team just gives the game away. They just gave games away in the playoffs when you're not supposed to do that. Now, you have to be good enough to take advantage of it, sure, but if the other team isn't giving the game away in the last 50 seconds, it doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't. They got here, great. Love it for him. Fluky is all I'm saying, Jessica. That's
Everybody
it.
takes advantage of things. What would have happened if Aaron Gordon hadn't torn his hamstring? What does that Game 7 look like between the Thunder and the Nuggets? I don't know.
Yeah. We're not doing the injury thing.
So that doesn't count in fluky and in
fine.
gifts of things
we could
given.
do that. Sure. What happens?
But you can do that with every single series.
Jessica, now I'm confused. Now I'm confused because we just had this argument about injuries a month ago, Jessica, and how you can do it in every series. You're like, no, like now you're agreeing with me.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it's not your month. I can do that now.
Excuse me?
It's not your month. I can do that now. Welcome to June, Men's Mental Health Awareness
I'm
Month.
CJ, and yo.
Oh, is that what we're doing now? Teresa.
Sorry, Teresa. Family fight.
Hey, this. I know. I was like, do you guys need me? The fun thing is when you live on comebacks like the Pacers have to literally get themselves through this postseason, at a certain point your luck just runs out. And I just don't see SGA and that Thunder crew giving up a lead in the final 50 seconds like we saw their opponents do to the Pacers this playoff season.
I'm sorry, Teresa. Don't the Pacers have 3 of those comebacks in this postseason run?
Yes.
And there was only one such comeback like that in all of NBA history?
Yeah, so it seems to me there's a team that's more built and more adept to doing it than any team ever before in the history of the game.
Destiny does not live in the playoffs in any sport. At a certain point, you hit the wall, you pull a Wile E. Coyote, you go off the cliff. And that's where we've arrived at that moment for the Pacers.
Teresa, as it pertains to the future of how teams are built in the NBA, I did love the quote from Miles Turner following their series win over the Knicks and talking about both the Thunder and the Pacers and how they are built by the power of friendship. And this notion of these teams that kind of really have an egalitarian approach of, yes, in the case of the Thunder, they have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and there's obviously a pecking order, but there is this notion of, say, someone like a Cason Wallace, who's 21 years old and could be a more important piece elsewhere, but takes his role of coming off the bench and the defensive presence that he gives for the Thunder really seriously and kind of removes the ego from it. And you look at the Pacers on a similar standpoint of having Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam at the top of the head, at the head of the snake, but then there's just as much importance for a Nesmith or a Nembhard or a Miles Turner and going to the bench of an Obi Toppin and just the players who step up and how these rosters were built and why that is so important given the new implications of the second apron and luxury tax and everything that comes with this CBA. But I love this idea of that we are entering the era of the power of friendship rosters in the NBA.
As opposed to the stars all want to play together,
Right.
a la the Miami Heat or now the Lakers. I'll say this. It's a great idea. It's a great concept, and it works for a very short period of time. Why? Everybody wants to get paid at some point, and contracts start running out, and it's like, okay, now it's time for me to get mine. I've been a good player. I've done my role. Now I want to get paid. Why? It's just human nature, baby.
Yeah, it is human nature. It's also human nature to hate things that you once lost. And while I do think, and CJ and I were discussing, America loves an underdog, and the Pacers are an underdog in this. And so I think just general public perception is a rooting interest in the Indiana Pacers for casual fans who are not diehard Oklahoma City Thunder fans. But if there is an opposite of a diehard Oklahoma City Thunder fan, it is those who live in Seattle, Washington, and the surrounding areas. And talking to my family in that area has been hysterical, just how much they hate the Thunder. We get a lot of it here in Memphis. Like, people really have turned on the Thunder because they beat the hell out of the Grizzlies in the first round of this playoffs and kind of represent like a path that the Grizzlies seem to be on. And then now the Grizzlies have fallen into such a significant step behind what the Thunder have done. But from Seattle's standpoint, they stole their team, and they will never get over it, Teresa. And I was reading a great article that one of your coworkers wrote in the Associated Press on this exact nature of why fans in Seattle cannot let go, and this promise of a dangling expansion that consistently seems to get pushed back further and further. But do you think it would be the perfect time, if the Thunder go and win the championship, is that the time to also announce that Seattle will get a team back in expansion in the NBA?
Oh, the timing would be perfect for that because there's salt in those wounds for the Seattle people. And I get that. I mean, the Supersonics were a long, proud brand. And, you know, it's like watching your ex living in another town and living it up with the best of their life right now in OKC. And you know, and for Memphis, it's like, come on, there's lots of playoff scars with the Thunder, so there's lots of reasons to hate them. But you know, when you take somebody's team, I mean, this is literally like taking somebody's spouse and just taking them off and going and living in a bigger house with all the cars and just living the life. So I just don't know if they're going to go that far and give them a team. I mean, yeah, if Thunder are lifting the trophy at the end of this series and happy and everything, that would be great timing. Adam Silver doesn't seem to work by that schedule. So, you know, I just don't, would it be nice? Yes. I don't see it happening. Sorry, Seattle.
I woke up today, like I'm gonna say things and make people happy. I'm not gonna make anybody upset. That's what I wanted to do. But you got this show, Jessica, and you just make me say things that make people upset. Get over it. Good Lord, how long has it been?
15 years.
This wasn't yesterday. You're still pining over something that happened 15 years ago? You got to let it go at a certain point, Seattle. My God, get over it.
You're desperate for your chance to be back in a league, in a sport that you care about as much as they do in Seattle. I remember, when was it? Was it the Clippers who went and played a game there? And like Steve Ballmer was yelling about Seattle, and he's from there, and Microsoft and all the ties there. But just the number of people, the sold out gyms that they've had, and any exhibition opportunity that they've put in the city of Seattle since, like, they care. When I was there for the Memphis Colorado State first round tournament, the number one jersey that you see scattered around is Seattle Sonics. Like, people are still rocking it. People are desperate for it. Sports talk radio. My mom has called me so many times over the last year and be like, did they announce expansion? And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? She goes, oh, well, it was the lead story on Seattle Sports Talk Radio when I got in the car this morning. And I'm like, no, they're just still talking about the hope of expansion that continues to be a driving conversation, and that hope is a hell of a drug. And they are convinced that if and when expansion happens, they will be one of the teams that ultimately, or one of the cities that gets a team in that universe. However, I think Adam Silver, the last time he talked about it, brought up the difficulties of local media rights and how that has kind of provided the latest snag in the expansion pathway. But they're still convinced it's going to happen. And I swear to you, they are convinced that the Thunder, if they win, that should be their moment to find out that they get their team back. Not the Thunder, of course, but an expansion team.
As the analogy going, right? Like, it's like losing a spouse moving on or a girlfriend moving on. If you were my friend and I love the people in Seattle. I love Seattle, Tacoma. I love the whole state of Washington, right? Hobnob, one of my favorite breakfast spots. It's incredible.
Only you would know Hobnob.
It's incredible. Listen, if you were my friend, and y'all are, I would pull you to the side and be like, hey, it's been 15 years. We got to find something else to do. We got to move on from this.
No, you stay committed. Okay, when you move on from a partner, you don't stop looking for love. You keep trying to search for that feeling that thing brought you. It's the love, not that partner, but it's still chasing after the totality of what you thought you had, even though they left it and ruined and the scars that are there. But ultimately, it's all leading you back to having an even better version of what left. And so sure, eventually when Seattle has a team again, and it does feel like they're going to have a team again. It's Seattle, it's Las Vegas. Those two get brought up constantly in talks of expansion. And it's a matter of, will it be expansion? Will there be shifting? Is there a universe where like they join the West and then certain teams in the Western Conference right now were able to shift to the East? That would be fantastic for the Memphis Grizzlies. I think there is nothing that fans here would hope more than being able to go compete in the Eastern Conference. But it's not like they're pining over the Thunder. They're angry that something that they loved so much was stolen from them. And now they're just chasing the great high of having that once again.
Jess and CJ, I'll just say this. It feels like Nashville's pining for a Major League Baseball franchise. They keep talking about expansion or getting a team. Steve Ballmer is a guy with the pockets. He could have just simply moved his Clippers to Seattle.
Get them out of the shadow of the Lakers in LA.
Right? Yeah. And he's a guy with the pockets. That would have been the easiest fix. But no. He built an arena down in LA for his Clippers. So, it's like sometimes the easiest solution is right there, the one staring you in the face. And he said nice things about Seattle. He didn't do anything about it, did he? So until there is something concrete done, calm down, poor Seattle fans. Trust me, I keep an eye on Nashville and their love affair with Major League Baseball. And yes, I saw another reference to the Tampa Bay Rays, who I still think end up in Nashville someday, don't have a stadium. But that's a team looking for a place, some place to play. And the NBA, when you pin your hopes on an expansion team, talk about the most ephemeral of hopes and dreams and wishes. Good luck.
Teresa, we found out.
The Seattle Storm.
Well, except apparently the Seattle Storm, according to, I think it was Christina Williams who reported yesterday, under investigation for problems between a player and a coach.
It's weird.
Yeah, because then I thought it was a joke of a headline where it said that the allegations were that the coach used profanity. And I was is this not sports?
Jewel Lloyd
needed to get out of there. Did you see her on that podcast that came out this week?
I've just read a handful of articles. So it seemed, and just recklessly speculating, they hadn't announced anything. But it was an I don't even know if it was an altercation in between, but it was during Vegas versus Seattle. Jewel Lloyd plays for Vegas. So my guess is a coach might have said something again to her that she didn't like, and so she filed a complaint. What did she say on the pod?
Well, Jewel Lloyd just talked about how desperate she was to get out of Seattle. Like, she told her agent, send me anywhere. I just need, anything will be better than what I'm currently experiencing here. And she thought she was destined to go to a middling team, a bad team, and then randomly found out, then she went to the Las Vegas Aces, who are a middling, but have recent success. And she already had a relationship with Asia Wilson and either Chelsea Gray or Jackie Young. But like, they're good friends. And so then she was very excited for that. But not great PR for the Seattle Storm. But you're right, Teresa. Never forget, the Seattle Storm do exist. And they play in a great arena. That Climate Pledge Arena is really, really nice and still really, really new. I did want to get your take on the new All-Star Game format, which, listen, I will care about the NBA All-Star Game when somebody tells me, hey, did you watch the NBA All-Star Game over the weekend? And it was awesome. Like, until then, it's just really hard for me to get my hopes up about that event being saved, that weekend being saved. However, they are going to shift, according to Adam Silver yesterday, to a USA versus the world format. So it will feature Team USA versus Team World. Does this move the needle for you, Teresa? Does this at least pique your interest more than the formats that we've seen over the last few years?
I think so, and that might be recency bias, having been at the Olympic men's gold medal game last year in Paris and seeing what France did to push the Americans before Steph called nuit nuit with that big three. So, yeah, the prospect of him shooting over Wemby again, or that I think that us against the world might get them to play. But we're still talking about the middle of the season. We're still talking about a game where, when was the last time anybody in an All-Star game played defense? I mean, the 70s, when actual cash and it mattered because they weren't paid much. Early 80s. I mean, that's what we're talking about. Will they play any kind of defense? Will there be a steal? Will there be any attempt to do anything more than just pile on the points? And if it looks more like an actual basketball game and that they want to be there and somebody wants to win, then maybe they get some buzz back around it. But I mean, they're looking, searching, and trying, and this might work. I mean, NHL is probably watching, saying, "Will this work? Will this work? Maybe we should try that." Ovechkin against the rest of the world. So it's like, that's the thing. Major League Baseball, they're all watching, I think, trying to salvage their own All-Star games because they become buzz. They used to be must-see TV. Now it's like, wait, that was this week? I missed it.
Yeah, that is how it's been. But there is something that gives a little extra energy on the USA versus everybody else piece of it. I just think, unfortunately, that everybody else in the situation of the NBA might prove to be a pretty difficult competition piece for USA basketball. It might not be the best PR move for USA basketball, as there is hope of this transition of power from the team that was into the future and what that's going to look like, and the hope that USA continues to dominate on a world stage. And I feel like the All-Star game could be a very sobering reality moment, a reality check per se for Team USA. But we'll see. At least that does provide interest. So you're right.
Well, absolutely. I mean, think about it. Jokic, Luka, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because he's not American. I mean, you think about the team. Giannis. I mean, you think about the team that.
Sabonis.
Yes, the rest of this
Lou Dort,
world can.
Porzingis.
I mean, forget a starting five. They've got depth for days. So yeah, USA, you better be prepared because.
Lou Dort's Canadian. We've got all these Canadians in the NBA Finals. It's Shai, Dort, Benedict Mathurin. I feel like there's one more. I'm missing one.
Yeah, there's a fourth.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll think on it.
That's the thing. USA, the world, USA better get ready, baby, because the world's
Wemby,
coming.
Şengün. I mean, my God, the list just keeps on coming. Like,
They can go 3-4 teams deep.
Yeah, that's what I always see people who say, yeah, the world starters would be good, but who are they bringing off the bench? And I'm like, ooh, you do not want to know whose heritage exists outside of this country. Speaking of Canada, Teresa, Canada got a win. Edmonton getting a win for all of Canada last night, starting that series against the Panthers 1-0. Are you rooting for the Oilers to get this as Canada continues their long, long quest of trying to get a Stanley Cup final win since, it's been what, since 1993?
It's been a long time. I am rooting for Canada and Edmonton. Two former Predators, Matthias Ekholm and Victor Arvidsson, scored goals last night for the Oilers. But as somebody who's a Cubs fan at heart and an underdog fan, it's like, I like to spread the titles out. I don't like to see teams that go on long runs. And I know that trying for two is not a run, but as somebody who was born in South Florida, it's like, okay, hockey in South Florida, you've had your moment, you've got your title. Let Edmonton get one for Canada. And trust me, having been in Canada, in Vancouver during 2010 Olympics, hockey means everything to Canadians. The first day of the games, I literally had someone say, what are you here for? And I'm like, the Olympics. And they're like, well, the gold medal game isn't until such and such date. And it's like, there's a lot of stuff going on until then. So, they are hockey mad, and I know what it would mean to that entire country. And yes, with the former Nashville ties, I am pulling for the Oilers. I mean, I think last night they were like 4-12 in game ones. And I saw a stat during the game last night that the last 4 games, not counting last night, that went to overtime in the Stanley Cup final, the team that won game 1 in overtime won the cup. So if that holds, Edmonton's in good shape.
The Cop. Teresa, thanks as always for joining us. It's Andrew Nembhard is the 4th Canadian. So SGA, Lou Dort, Nembhard, and Mathurin, 4 Canadians playing in the NBA Finals. Whew. I was going to call them our friends up north, but
we waited too late to impose
our
those
people
stairs.
up north. Yeah, a little too late. All right, Teresa, we'll see you next week. Thanks as always for joining us. Consensual heart hands going your way. I wonder if we'll get another Greg Doyle moment in the NBA Finals.
No, he only gives like one a year, doesn't he?
Usually.
He's already had his one moment.
With Siakam?
I think he'll dial it back. He'll be okay.
Maybe next year.
Definitely next year.
Definitely next year. Do you like the USA versus the world format? Do you think
it doesn't matter if the players don't care, right? You said at the start of it, you'll care about it when somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, did you see the All-Star game? It was really good."
Yeah.
In order for that to be the thing that we say, they have to care about it. Now, will this make them care about it? I'm not sure. I don't think Jokic is going to be out there like, for God and country, let's go out here and beat these dudes in the All-Star game. I feel confident in saying the older American All-Stars aren't going to feel that way either. It's cool. It worked for hockey this past season doing that, but that's because those players cared about it. Until you get NBA players who care about the event, it's going to be what it is. And I think in some of this, in lieu of doing a game, the NFL has gone to this where it's like, we're not even going to do a game. We're just going to have some fun out here. I think that's what you can do. You can find a way to give the NBA All-Stars a chance to showcase some sort of personality, either at the All-Star game weekend, or we're not going to call it a game anymore, but All-Star weekend event, or where they're at on vacation.
Maybe we should call it a palooza.
All-Star Palooza.
I love a palooza.
Let's go. You do it like a massive basketball festival. We do Music Fest Friday to Sundays. You can do a basketball festival, and it doesn't necessarily need to culminate in
a game.
The most popular players playing in a game. There can be a game. You can do a game if you would like, but the game has to be with dudes who care about playing in that weekend.
A dream of a world where we shift, included in that, because then it throws even less of an importance on 10-time All-Star. And I don't want to take away from the All-Star qualification, but I'd way rather talk about people from an All-NBA standpoint.
Yeah, that's
that's
the
what
better
matters.
that's the better thing.
Yes, but we're so
Significantly
conditioned
so.
to do All-Star first when you're talking about a player's resume.
When you do the
two-time champion, 15-time All-Star, whatever it may be.
Yeah, because it's that. When you do the legacy building, you want the numbers in front of whatever the award is. So you say 15-time All-Star.
That sounds impressive.
4-time All-NBA. It's like, oh, okay, this dude was one of the 15 best players, only 4 times.
Was one of the most popular players. 15.
Yeah.
Was one of the faces of, one of the most identifiable faces of the league this many times, but was impactful to the
most
nth
impactful
degree these 4 seasons. Yeah, I'm with you. All right, we're going to do a draft when we come back. It's a draft day. I texted CJ at 5 o'clock this morning and said, help, we didn't think of a draft to do. And looking back on it, there were some other options that we could have done for a draft, but that's okay. We'll put them in our pocket because CJ suggested camp songs. And why did you suggest camp songs?
Oh, what's old girl's name? Borland, who took the axe. Lizzie Borland took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. Today is the anniversary of the start of that trial.
And so CJ said, we're doing camp songs, everybody.
Go.
We'll get into what a camp song is, what is included in this category as we try to do a draft on this Thursday when we come back.
Have you always dreamed of entertaining on the biggest stage in Memphis? The Claw Crew is looking for members to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. Claw Crew members are hardworking, high-energy entertainers who assist Grizzlies home games by hyping up the crowd and much more. Not only do they support the Grizzlies on home games, but also promote in Memphis and across the Mid-South. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information and to register today. The Grizzlies, grannies, and grandpas have the right moves and are currently looking for new members to join their team for the upcoming season. These soulful seniors are a fan favorite group throughout Grizz Nation. You do not have to be a grandparent, but you must be at least 50 years old with personality, rhythm, and passion for performing. If that sounds like you, then we want to see you on Sunday, June 29th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information.
Bain drives.
Oh yeah.
Close. He hits and the Grizzlies have the lead.
Yeah!
Jaron with a knock-in.
Good defense.
Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting.
That's so show. Let's go.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Jalen Wells is in studio right now. You took on tough, if not the toughest defensive assignment. When did you realize that would be your role?
And that's what I was working towards since training camp. I was trying to guard Dez, I was trying to guard Ja whenever I could, even if they're blowing by me, overpowering me. I really didn't care, because I was a rookie, so it's like, that's what's going to happen to a rookie.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Last week, I gave you the update about my son Kevin in terms of having to choose. Has he made the decision? He picked Tennessee State.
Oh, my heart, Mike.
The next day, we got an email from the director of Tuskegee's program laying out everything that they were going to be doing, and he flip-flopped.
There we go.
He flip-flopped. So he's going to be going down to Tuskegee.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Welcome back. It is a Thursday. It is a draft day, and we are drafting best camp songs, which could also be identified as best sleepover songs, which could also be identified as silly songs you sang that rhymed when you were a kid with your friends.
Cool with me.
Great.
I think all of those things fit. Yeah.
Isn't that right? That's all the categories. I feel like I didn't go to camp, so mine were all sleepovers.
You did a summer camp.
I did not go to summer camp.
You didn't? What did you do in the summertime?
I went to like sports camps that were day camps. But when I think of summer camp, like a true summer camp, I think of Bug Juice. Like I was always so jealous of the kids who went to a real summer camp
and
stayed in like
camp.
a little cabin.
Yeah, no, those are
I didn't go to
that's different. You still did summer camps.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A camp is
a camp. A camp is anything that gives your parents a break during the day.
That's it. That's
and
all.
by God, did I play every sport under the sun. I was convinced I was going to be a hockey player thanks to summer camp.
Turn up.
That was a good time. Roller hockey.
You ever do
ice hockey?
You ever become a camp counselor?
No, God, no.
Okay. All right.
Did you?
Yeah.
You have big camp counselor energy.
Yeah. That's my
derogatory.
dream job. Whatever. That's my dream job. Sports camp counselor. Only worked
not a camp counselor.
From June till July. Just yelling at children. Yeah, good stuff.
No, I see you more as like being a giant child.
Yeah, that's why I'm yelling at them.
You're the
I'm beating them.
Camp counselor.
Talking trash to them. We started camp, all sports camp, which at NBA is probably, if it's not this week, it's coming up soon. We started all sports camp. They always only gave me the older kids. It's like, okay, fine. But we would play counselors versus kids in basketball first day, and it'd be 60 kids out there, 3 counselors. We'd beat them by 500, and I walk over to them and tell them, hey, I'm bigger and faster and stronger than you. Anytime I want to do that, I can. Don't forget it. Get in line. Let's
My favorite camp that I went to was a camp called Super Kids Sports Camp, SKSK. And it was at a local church. And I didn't love the church part of it because they made you watch VeggieTales at lunch every day, and I really hated VeggieTales. Like, I have a deep, deep disdain for that show because of this camp. But the best part about the camp was you got to choose your sport. And you could rotate every year. So you would choose basketball one year, or volleyball the next year, or dance one year, or softball one year, or hockey one year. And that was fun. But the best part was the last day was just a giant water fight. And you were split into two parties. You were the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Okay.
So you had to, if you were a Hatfield, you had to wear red every day. If you were a McCoy, you had to wear blue every day. And it was a whole thing. And then on the last day of camp, you went like full face paint, hair dye, everything. But then it was a giant water fight with water slides and slip and slides and squirt guns and water balloons and just giant buckets of water and all the popsicles that you could ever ask for. I miss popsicles.
You're a grown up. You can go buy popsicles whenever you want.
Is Jacob a VeggieTales fan?
Yes.
Oh my God, it's the worst show.
Jacob loves VeggieTales. He loves the little cucumber and the tomato and all of
I was
that.
like, just get the ball back in my hand. Lunchtime is over. I've got kids to beat.
Before we get started,
yes,
can you do the Sonic Grizzlies mailbag question of the week?
Oh, I would love to do the Sonic mailbag question of the week.
We love Sonic.
This week's Sonic mailbag question of the week is brought to us by our dear friend Eric, and he asks, say the Supersonics or Las Vegas expansion draft happens this summer. Who would you leave unprotected in an expansion draft? What a perfect timing for the conversation that we just had. How many players do you leave unprotected in an expansion draft?
I'll look into that.
That's a really tough question. I wish I would have looked at this question before the show started.
You're protecting.
Well, of course you're protecting Ja,
say who
Jaren, Dez.
Okay. Anybody
You're protecting Zach Edey. You're protecting. You protect 8?
Yeah, you protect 8.
Okay, so I'm protecting Ja. Whatever, leave that part out. I'm protecting Ja. I'm protecting Jaren. I'm protecting Dez. I'm protecting Edey. I'm protecting Jalen Wells. I'm protecting Brandon Clark. That's 6. Let's look here. I'm protecting Yuki Kawamura. Just kidding. Exactly. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm protecting Scotty. That's 7.
That's 7.
And I'm protecting. Santi.
All right.
All right, there's your 8.
That gets you 8.
So that leaves. Or I guess I would protect Gigi. But over who? That's where it gets tough.
All right.
Jacob.
Come on, give us one more.
I'm at 8.
So you're protecting. You said Gigi, but you didn't take somebody off.
Whatever.
Oh, okay. Here you go.
Who are you protecting?
Santi, Jaren, Ja, Dez, Edey, Wells. That's 6. Oh boy, Clark is 7. Marvin Bagley the 3rd.
Wow. You just wanted to zag.
We've talked enough off air, Jessica, for you to know how I feel about most of these dudes on roster.
Sonics are going to be so excited to welcome John Conchar. I'm sorry, John.
Jitty time.
Honestly, that'd be like a really exciting cult fan favorite for an expansion draft.
Conchar.
Like going into the Jitty lore. I feel like they could get into it.
Yeah.
Your start of your orientation, finding out there's a John Conchar Day in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh, you have to find out.
Got to find out that. Then finding out when they put John Conchar on the graphic with LeBron James for a Grizzlies-Lakers game.
Oh, yeah.
When everybody was out. That was fun.
I forgot about that.
Ooh, also Jay Huff, a good, expansion draft cult. I'm calling them cult heroes of the expansion draft. Where I can talk myself into that. That's an exciting prospect for my future. That'd be crazy.
Can we do the race?
Yeah, let's do the race.
Let's see what we got here.
Are we racing ducks? Are we racing
we
food?
don't know
Are we
until Jacob
racing
throws it up
fire?
there.
Are we racing hot dogs? Oh, we're
it's
back to the ducks.
Okay. Oh, my duck is a little dragon type,
You're so
dinosaur
cute.
type. Yeah. Oh, I'm a lose.
I want to be a dinosaur.
I'm pulling a Knicks / Cavs / Bucks. Look at me, had the lead and just
Let's
blew
go.
it. Just sharing competence by my duck.
All right. With the number 1 pick. I didn't really want the number 1 pick.
Why?
Because I don't have a clear number one favorite.
I have a clear top 2.
You have a clear top 2.
There's clearly a top 2.
All right. My number 1 might not be your number 1, might not be your number 2, but it's in my heart, my favorite clap song of all time. And it is Miss Susie Had a Steamboat.
That's clearly,
give me Miss Susie Had a Steamboat with number 1.
That's clearly number 1.
I have like 4 that mean something to me. But Miss Susie is my favorite because the steamboat had a bell. Ding ding, Miss Susie went to heaven. The steamboat went to hello, operator. Please give me number 9. And if you disconnect me, I'll kick you from behind the refrigerator. There was a piece of glass. Miss Susie sat upon it and broke her little. Ask me no more questions. Please tell me no more lies. Miss Susie's in the bathroom, zipping up the flies are in the meadow. The bees are in the park. Miss Susie and her boyfriend were kissing in the D-A-R-K, D-A-R-K. Darker than the movies, darker than the show, darker than the olden days, and that is all I know. Ooh.
You do the ending different than we do.
See, that's what we're gonna find. Everybody has little variations based on your region, but that's what makes it so fun.
That's what makes it fun, and being able to say the dirty words if you say them the right way.
So fun.
Incredible
Ask
for
me no more questions.
7-year-old.
I loved saying ask me no more questions.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So I will take the other Miss Susie, who had a baby. His name was Tiny Tim.
Nice.
She put him in the bathtub to see if he could swim. He drank up all the water. He ate up all the soap. He tried to eat the bathtub, but it wouldn't go down the throat.
Nope.
Miss Susie called the doctor. Miss Susie called the nurse. Miss Susie called the lady with the alligator purse. Measles said the doctor. Mumps said the nurse. Nothing said the lady with the alligator purse. I forget the way the rest of it goes.
I was really feeling it, so I don't know where you left off. That great one. Excellent.
Yes.
We got Miss Susie.
Miss Susie.
She had a lot of things.
Banger.
Bountiful Miss Susie
Summer
was.
Camp Hall of Famer, Miss Susie.
Okay. With my number 2 pick, I'm going to take Down by the Banks.
How's that go?
Down by the banks of the hanky-panky where the bullfrogs jump from bank to banky with a hip hop over the top. And he lands on a lily pad with the curb plop, plop.
All right.
Plop.
Okay.
I love the plop part.
I can tell you love the plop.
Plop.
Oh, my goodness. One of the best thing about these songs is they can be annoying, and you can annoy the adults without like really getting into trouble. One of the camps I went to was in Clarksville, Tennessee, and we sang the song that never ends on the bus from Clarksville. We were on our way to Rock City. It's a good one. We sang it.
Rock City.
We got halfway. We got halfway to Rock City before the head of the camp got up and said, "Hey, this song has ended. Nobody talk anymore. Give me the song that never ends, or the song that doesn't end."
This is the song that doesn't end.
Is it never?
I did never.
I did never too, but I think it doesn't.
Never ends.
Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is a song that.
We should really get some samples of these in current pop classics. If someone knew what they were doing.
Banger. Shout out to Lamb Chops Play Along.
Shout out Lamb Chops.
Shout out Lamb Chops.
All right,
Shout
I will
out to
take
PBS.
Miss Mary Mack. And what was she dressed in?
All black.
All black with silver buttons all down her back. She asked her mother, for what?
15
for 50 cents. I said 50.
I think it's 15.
I thought she was rich. She had silver buttons. She was definitely asking
What
for
was she
50
looking
cents
for, though?
to see the elephants.
Yeah.
Climb over the fence.
Oh, they jumped the fence where I'm from.
Oh, they jumped so high.
So
I guess they jumped.
Yeah, so they jumped it. Yeah.
They touched the sky.
And they never carried.
They come back to the
There you
4th of
go.
July.
There you go.
Lie. Great song.
That's a good one.
Great song.
I thought I was going to be able to sneak that one.
No.
I will take, now I don't know where to go with this. I have some real aggressive ones.
Okay. That's shocking.
That I'm not sure.
I am absolutely shocked.
If I take them, if we can post it.
Don't do that.
Okay, but they're good. The I Hate You is good. I hate you. You hate me.
You can do that.
Let's get together and kill Barney. With an AK-47, shoot him in the head. Aren't you glad that Barney's
dead?
Come on, man.
Yeah, you
like,
can
I'm not taking that. I'm not.
That was a great.
But
that song like fed families.
Oh my gosh. The other one.
And by fed families, I mean like the family could sit and eat because the kids were just sitting singing the Barney's
other one
Dead
that
song.
I wanted to take on top of a building, 100 stories high. I pushed off poor Barney.
Barney died in a lot of
I
ways.
thought he could fly.
He could not.
But I won't take that one either. I will take, give me shame. I don't want to go to Mexico no more.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big fat policeman at the door. He'll grab you by the collar, make you pay $1. I don't want to go to Mexico no more. Give me shame.
Good one. We also did Joy to the World with Barney.
Joy to the world that Barney's dead.
We barbecued his head.
Don't worry about the body.
We flushed it down the potty, and round it goes,
like
round
Border
and round it
Cheerios.
goes. Oh, that's a good one.
Oh my God! Why were we killing Barney?
I don't know. We really hated Barney.
He just wanted us to love one another. We were like, no.
All
we should
right.
have known then something was going to be wrong with our generation.
I guess I will take Boom Chicka Boom with my fourth.
Oh, hit me with
I
it.
said a boom chicka boom. I 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 said a boom shaka rocka shaka boom. That's a good one.
That is a good one. I'll go John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Great one.
Oh my gosh. And then when you get quiet with when you do that.
My name is my name too. Whenever we go out, the people always shout. There goes John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. La, 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 la.
That's the best part. God love John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
I wonder where he is now. All right, wow, we've come to the end, and I'm a little sad because I have like 5 other ones I want on my team, but I will have to leave them, and I will go with a sailor went to CCC to see what he could CCC, but all that he could CCC was the bottom of the deep blue CCC.
Okay. That's not one I'm familiar with. We didn't do that one.
You didn't send the sailor to CCC?
No.
To see what he could CCC?
No.
But all that he could CCC?
Was what?
Was the bottom of the deep blue CCC.
No, we didn't do that one.
Damn. I didn't even live by a sea.
Neither did I. I will take one for the littles, for like the 4, 5, 6-year-olds. Yes. Give me Wheels on the Bus.
Go round and
Wheels
round.
on the Bus. And if you can convince everybody on your bus to sing it in a round, there are few songs better to sing in a round than Wheels on the Bus.
God's chorus.
Come on, man. Somebody, speaking of God, somebody in the chat said, "This little light of mine." And very clearly you went to a church camp. Which is
You
fine.
also went to VeggieTales.
Which is
camp.
fine. Y'all probably watch a ton of VeggieTales.
I would have done 99 bottles of beer on the wall.
Oh, that's a good one.
Just a classic.
That's a good one. I'm surprised we don't have it.
The ants go marching one by one.
Oh!
Hurrah, hurrah.
The ants go marching one by one. Hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one. The little one stops and says, "I'm done." They all go marching down to the ground to get out of the rain. Bump, 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 bump. Yeah, that's a good one.
Who stole the cookie from the cookie
Oh, that's another good
jar?
one.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Couldn't be.
Then
Then who? She'll be coming round the mountain when
I
she
never
comes.
really liked that one.
She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be driving round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. When she comes.
Yeah, that's all the same
What'll
thing.
she be driving? 6 white horses.
That's a good one.
And then the big booty song.
Oh.
Big booty, big booty, big booty. Oh yeah, big booty number, and then you throw numbers back and forth.
yeah.
I love the big
I
booty
remember Big
song.
Booty
I'm
now.
a big booty fan. Any others for you?
Lizzie Borland. Reason why we're doing this: took an axe, gave her father 40 whacks.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
And then the other one I would take, but I don't. They wouldn't post it probably. We would sing. I had no clue who 3-6 Mafia was.
Okay.
I knew the first verse of Slob on My Knob. I knew it, and it's just so much fun to sing. As a kid, we just had no clue what I was singing about. Had no clue what laying on the bed was, but was getting to it. Know a little freak in Hollywood. Like, okay, I have no clue where Hollywood is, but all right. I thought Hollywood was California, not Hollywood around this corner from Simmons Bank Stadium.
Our big one was to the window, to the wall,
that was a good
to
one.
the wall, and we would do that over and over.
We
and over.
on
At
our
basketball
way,
camp. That's what I always remember.
on our way to NBA's All Sports Camp. We would do putt-putt. Like that would be something that the kids would do once a week. And it was a big thing, getting to go off campus and going to the putt-putt. And we would search the radio for Get Low. And when it would come on, everybody would point. We'd have the bus rocking. One day, one of the coaches, who was a genuinely good dude, one of those type soft-spoken people, came up to me and said, "Hey, CJ, do you know what that song is about? I heard my wife told me over dinner." I was like, "No, well, yeah, I kind of knew, but the kids love it." He's like, "Yeah, I love it too. We're still going to sing it. I just wanted to know if you knew what it was about."
I know.
Did you know where the sweat is actually dripping from, CJ? I was like, "Yo, I just found that out because I had only heard the radio edit."
Oh.
And he was like, "CJ, the sweat is dripping from the balls." I was like, "Oh, my word."
Our other big one was Baby Got Back.
Y'all would do Baby Got Back?
Oh, my God. A bus full of girls going to anything was just us over and over going, "Oh, my God. Becky, look at her butt."
Would y'all do the whole thing?
We would do the entire
Get out of here. I think that was hilarious.
All right. Shout out camp songs. Shout out being a kid.
Yeah.
Now we're just old and washed. All right, we'll take a quick break here. We'll come back, do a little Theater Thursday on our way out. Big movie trailer came out last night. I'm holding space for it. We'll get into Wicked for Good. I'll tell you a wonderful movie that I watched over the weekend that I think everyone should watch. And then CJ sent some random movie news that I want his takes on. We'll find out what it is when we get back.
Wait, what did I send?
The Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni
I wanted your
update.
thoughts on.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at LiveNation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
You've seen the Grizz line jamming on the court and rocking out on Beale Street, and this is your chance to join the best drum line in the NBA. Grizz line entertains Grizz Nation at home games and events in the Mid-South through their impressive techniques and energetic shows. If you have experience in drumming and marching and love entertaining, Grizz line is the perfect opportunity for you to combine percussion and performance. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Sign up today by visiting grizzlies.com/auditions.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit Shinedown.com.
The other thing that came out this week that we were talking about innovation and Nike and all that, they dropped these $900 hyper boots that
900.
I mean, they're a recovery shoe apparently that you wear after sports, whatever.
Who's buying it? Because all the athletes that we see, they're gonna get seated this. So who's gonna actually pay $900 for this?
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
How about Mr. Irrelevant coming from the Memphis Tigers? Yeah, how about that? New England Patriots
Second
took
time.
Memphis defensive back Kobe Minor with the 257th overall pick.
If you're the player getting drafted at that spot, it's almost better to go undrafted and pick a place as an undrafted free agent to sign with where you have a better chance
But
of
you get a lot
sticking.
of stuff. You get a parade. I think you
do?
go to Disneyland, I believe.
Mr. Irrelevant goes to Disney?
I think so.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. In the arms of an angel. A moment of silence, please. I don't know if our viewers out there are aware, but we had a tremendous loss in the downtown Memphis community yesterday. Hooters closed without notice, just a simple sign on their door that said, "We are no more." And I would just like to give it a moment. What was your favorite Hooters moment, CJ? Yeah, you don't have to play the sad music. It can be in our head. There we go. Thank you.
Oh, turn the mic on. When I first moved to Memphis, that was for football games. I'd go to that Hooters, sort of blow off some steam, eat some wings, watch football with some of the pharmacy school friends that I had made. So I frequented that Hooters from 2009 to like 2011. I was there 3 or 4 times during the football season, and then once I moved away from the Edison and Uptown Square, I really didn't go there a whole lot. Hooters as a chain wing spot. My favorite chain wing spot to go to, at least it was once upon a time.
More than B-dubs?
Yeah, way more than B-dubs. But I felt so icky being like, hey, everybody, let's go to Hooters. Because, titties is everywhere. And people be like, oh, you just want to go look at boobies.
We don't shame titties. We celebrate them.
I celebrate them. I, as the most right person on this show, love boobies. Right? But listen, I don't necessarily think that I should be taking my family to Hooters to eat wings when boobies is just all over the place.
I do think
that makes me feel kind of icky.
I'm just hopeful that this isn't a nationwide problem, because I do think a part of every young American, every creed, every race, every religion, every community, you remember your first time in a Hooters. I remember my first time in Hooters. It was waiting in line to get Dick Vitale's autograph at a Final Four.
Whoa.
Yep.
You said Hooters and Dick, and I was like, wait a second, what happened?
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Days. Sure did.
All right. Did
Have
you
a book.
eat any
It's
of
in
the
a storage
wings?
locker. Yes.
Hooters has
great wings.
Chili cheese fries also.
I remember my friend and I walking to a Hooters to get some wings in Los Angeles once. It was great. I remember right here, that Hooters served as 2 memories in my life in Memphis. And I might have only gone twice, but both of those, top 10 nights in my Memphis life.
Did you eat anything when you went either time?
No, actually. One time we got there and realized that a member of our party should not be in public anymore, and so we had to take that person home. We'll conceal their identity for his or her sake. And the other time, do you remember when our building was responsible for the power outage
Yes,
downtown?
I do, vividly.
So all the power goes out. What I remember, it was the first NFL game of the season coming out of COVID. It was a Chiefs game. I forget who they were playing, but it was the first NFL game. Our building lost all power. All of downtown lost power. At the time, the only place that still had power with food and televisions downtown was Hooters. And so we were like, great, we're gonna go to Hooters, we're gonna watch the game. We've been sweating our asses off all day because we have no air conditioning, but I bet Hooters does, and Hooters is gonna be our mecca in this situation. And we went and we sat down and we ordered, and the power went out.
Oh no.
It expanded out to the Hooters. And then we had to drive and we ended up at, what's the Irish place in Cooper Young? Why can't I think of it?
Celtic Crossing?
Celtic Crossing,
Okay.
yeah. But that, I tried, I failed.
And now we can't.
And now it's all my fault.
It's gone.
Anyway.
Another downtown staple closing.
How many times did you eat there?
I told you like 4 or 5
4 or
times
5.
during the football season
Yeah.
from 2010 till like 2011 or 2009 till 2011. So I don't know, like close to 20 maybe. But the last time I went was probably 2014, 2015. Yeah.
R.I.P.
Long live Hooters.
Downtown Hooters.
Downtown.
We will always love you. All right, Theater Thursday movie news. Massive movie trailer came out. I love a good moment around a trailer, and my God, did Wicked for Good, or Wicked Part 2, do just that. They convinced people to go back and watch Wicked Part 1 just so they could see the trailer before the rest of us saw it on the internet yesterday. They did special showings in movie theaters across the country of the first part of Wicked. You got to see the trailer if you were there. Then they rolled it out online, so like you could have just waited for that like I did. But oh my God, does For Good with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande sound so good? Like There are issues with the second part of Wicked that I think will always make this part 2 a challenge. Like Act 2 of Wicked is a significant drop off from Act 1, in my opinion. A part of that is just musicals. Oftentimes Act 2 is more of like all right, we've sucked you in with the bangers of Act 1 and like really gotten you in here, and now we somehow have to wrap this up in an hour to an hour and a half. And a lot of times, like plot gets lost, character development gets lost. The best songs are usually at the beginning and the very end. There are good songs in part 2, like thinking of Ariana and Cynthia doing For Good, thinking Cynthia doing No Good Deed Goes Unpunished, Ariana Grande doing Thank Goodness, Cynthia Erivo and my sweet prince Jonathan Bailey doing As Long As You're Mine will absolutely send me into a very happy place, I'm sure. But I'm excited. It comes out in November, so I have something to live for until then.
Yeah, we don't do trailers, and this. You were gonna go see this movie regardless of the trailer, correct?
You betcha.
I think everybody was gonna go see this movie regardless of the trailer. I don't need a whole bunch of trailer time on my screen because I want to go in completely blind and see this movie. So I have a feeling I'll be trying to dodge this trailer, especially during the NBA Finals when we get movie trailers in every damn commercial break. This and Fantastic Four. I feel like I'm going to have to dodge both of those incessantly over the coming months. And to your point about musical second acts, I think that what may help the movie is that it doesn't have the same time constraints that a typical second act has, and it will allow them to expand upon some of these storylines, character developments, plot points, things of that nature. Because you've got to, what is it supposed to be? Isn't it supposed to be close to 3 hours?
Yeah.
So if it's close to 3
and
hours,
you're
adding, so you're doubling the amount of time that you have in this movie as opposed to a second act on stage.
Right.
I'm looking forward to it. My wife has already told me a whole bunch of songs that she plans on crying in during the movie.
Did she cry in the trailer?
She's not watching. We're not watching the trailer.
I know you don't watch trailers. I didn't know if she abided by
She's
your...
not watching the trailer. She's worse than me.
I cried.
She's.
I can't tell a lie.
Get out of
I got
here.
a little teary-eyed and I was embarrassed about it. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It really did it to me. But I have so many memories. Again, this is what happened with the part 1 too. It's more than nostalgia.
It's
memories
the same
associated
thing
with it.
her. Yeah.
It's oh my god, it was a lot. But anyway, they're supposedly adding 2 new songs. Each woman gets a new song written by Steven Schwartz, who wrote the original show. So there should be good continuity there.
I remember when they rolled out the first one.
Yeah.
And then they had Cynthia Erivo in Target commercials singing. It's like, okay, we don't need that. It was much better than whatever that was. We don't need that. So just like dial it back some. We're going to go see this movie. Don't give us any more details about it. We don't need that. That's just going to make us that's going to take that moment away from us in theaters. Let us have the moment in theaters that we want to have, and then afterwards you do what you do.
Commercials ruin everything. You want to know what commercials have ruined for me?
What?
Beyonce's Levi's jeans.
I'm curious.
I hate that commercial.
Why?
I loved the Levi's song, the one that has Post Malone on it. It's a good song. I mean, I loved Cowboy Carter, as we have gone over time and time again. But now that I hear it on that ad all the time, it's like ruined that song for me. And I get mad about it. I'm like, why? Why did you take this song and give it to Levi's jeans and allow them to commercialize this? Capitalism is ruining everything.
You see Beyonce in the Levi jeans?
Yeah, but now I've seen her 600 times in the Levi jeans, and it takes the specialness away from it.
Okay.
I turn it off. I mute those commercials.
Yeah.
Not just her. I mute all commercials.
Okay.
In our household because they're so loud.
They're
are. So loud.
I thought we had done something about this congressionally speaking, where the commercials have to be the same volume as the TV.
Speaking of tears, I cried like a baby in a movie over the weekend that I do want to recommend. It's called Sing Sing, and it came out. It first came out in 2023, and then it came out again for a short period of time in 2024. And for whatever reason, it's an A24 movie. They bumbled the rollout so poorly because I swear to you, it is the best movie that I have watched, I think, in the last 2 years. I think it should have been a shoo-in to win Best Picture this year. And I loved Denora, and I respected a lot of the movies that were up for Best Picture this year. But that movie was easily the best movie of the year. Shockingly great, shockingly sent me into just, not just tears, like sobs. I have been recommending it to everybody I know to watch it, and a couple have so far. And I was talking to someone who watched it last night, and they're like, "Oh my god! Like, how did this movie not get more? How did Coleman Domingo, who stars in it, not win an Oscar for Best Actor?" And I think it really does show how an early release can doom a movie's like award trajectory because it has all the pieces of it. It's about inmates in Sing Sing Correctional facility, and it's based on a true story, and it's about a group of prisoners who are a part of an acting troupe and how they use theater as like a coping mechanism while they're in prison. And again, based on a true story, this is like a real program that exists. And it was just truly a very special movie. So highly recommend Sing Sing if you're looking for something to watch. It's on HBO Max and it's an hour 45. So it's also in my favorite time zone of a movie. I love an hour 45 movie so much.
Drama?
Okay. But has moments of humor. Okay. Like I genuinely laughed multiple times. And I think it ends up telling such a like compelling and obviously shocking. The American prison system is horrific. And so there's pieces of that are illuminated within it that are frustrating and sad. But I think the totality of it is just like human beings and their story. And so there is humor in it. There's funny lines. There's a great sense of humor within it. And I think probably some of that got lost because you just focus on the end. But yeah, it touches all the emotions.
Other than Domingo, anybody else stand out?
I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
No, the answer is no.
Okay.
Which also probably did not help from a selling standpoint. It's just Coleman Domingo. Okay. And the rest are unknowns.
Okay.
Yeah. HBO Max. Watch it. Okay. Anything else you wanted to get to? R.I.P. Jonathan Joss.
Oh.
That story was really sad.
Can't end on that. That story is.
I felt
really
like I had
sad.
to mention it.
That story is really, really sad. And it's an insane story when you start reading about it and start paying attention. His house burned down at some point in time this year. He and his husband suspected arson. I don't think that the San Antonio Police Department ever investigated it as such. It was a home where he grew up as a kid. He had been having altercations with people in that neighborhood who were bigoted, hurling homophobic slurs at he and his partner. And so they decided, okay, enough is enough. The house is burned down. We're moving. And after several instances where somebody in the neighborhood threatened to burn down the house, it finally happened. So they moved, but they still had mail come into the house. In the fire, they lost 3 dogs. They go this particular day to go get the mail from the house, and somebody had left the skull of one of the dogs on the porch or in the yard somewhere, clearly visible. So he and his husband are grieving that. That's scary. That's traumatic. That's tough to see and witness and live through. One of the neighbors comes outside, and the only side we got is the husband side. And he says that the neighbor comes over and starts hurling a bunch of homophobic slurs. And I don't even think they go back and forth with this neighbor. The neighbor just pulls out the gun and shoots him. And so the San Antonio Police Department doing the investigation, they're saying that there's no evidence to suggest this is a hate crime. I'm sure that there should be a yet at the end of that. Mm-hmm. They're the police, so they've got to go with evidence. Take some. It's surprising to me that nobody investigated if it's true that they didn't investigate the house fire as an arson. That's odd to me. It feels like I think that the husband feels like the police department has let them down at every turn, and so it's sad. Jonathan Joss was the voice of John Redcorn in King of the Hill. That reboot is coming. It's coming out now. The trailer dropped for that. Or not the trailer, the theme song. They got a new intro for it. So that dropped last week or earlier this week. I can't remember. He was also the Native American chief in Pawnee, Indiana on Parks and Rec. He's appeared in a handful of movies as well. Anytime bigotry lends itself or leads to somebody being murdered, it's really, really sad. Yeah.
R.I.P. Sorry for the really bummer ending to the show.
Pick it back up. Let's talk
NBA
about
Finals tonight.
That's not going to pick it up.
I'm excited.
See
I
the
have felt
fluky
lost.
Pacers.
I have felt like I have been drifting through a purposeless evening schedule. Although I did finally finish The Righteous Gemstones last night.
Great way for it to end.
Great way for
Just
it
great
to end.
way.
I appreciate a show that knows when it's time to end and ends it in a very effective way. And The Righteous Gemstones did just that.
Goofy ass show with a goofy
ass ending.
Let's
Dr.
go.
Watson forever. And Megan Mullally ended up being fantastic on this final season.
Who's that?
The woman from Will and Grace.
Who's that?
The older woman who ends up with John Goodman's character.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow. We'll see if the fluky Pacers can keep things interesting against the Thunder.
I'm sure they'll fluke up and do something.
If they were to win this game, I will not let you have a moment of peace tomorrow.
If they win this game legitimately, then that's fine.
Even if they do it in a chaotic way,
Come on, man.
I will stand my ground, and it'll be a Friday, and I cannot wait. Everybody have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll see you then. Bye.
As a furthest right person, I support standing your ground, Jessica.
Thank you.